This video is on working with compositions in reverse, if you will. You're asked to find the missing piece given that a function g of x is equal to x squared plus 3, and the composition of f with g is equal to this polynomial on the right hand side. So the thing you're after is finding f of x. Well, there's a couple of things that you can do to sort of start the process. The first is to substitute g of x into the composition. So the composition right now is f composed with g, so it's f of g of x. So I would substitute in g of x directly into this composition, and that has to equal the right hand side of this equation. So that has to equal x to the fourth plus 6x squared plus 20. So I want you to ask yourself a question. I'm going to go back to this other color. I'm going to ask you to question what possibly could produce the right hand side when x squared plus 3 is substituted for x. So ask what could produce the right hand side, and I'm going to abbreviate it, right hand side, when x squared plus 3 is substituted in to f for x. So the second step to this, and I laid the steps out for you, is to use the trial and error method. So use the trial and error method, and you've done this before in your earlier math careers. So the trial and error method, notice that you've got an x to the fourth here. So try squaring what you have for x. So let's just see that. So how that works out. Notice x to the fourth. So try squaring x squared plus 3 and see what you get. And see if you get something close to this right hand side, which is the composition, right? Don't lose sight of the goal. We're looking for a function f of x when composed with g produces this right hand side. So let's try, grab another color, let's try squaring it. X squared plus 3 squared. Right? You can use your rules for squaring or FOIL it out, however you like. I'm just going to use my rules for squaring. So square the first, which is x squared times x squared is x to the fourth, plus 6x squared, plus square the last, which is 9. Or you can FOIL it out, whichever you feel more comfortable with. And you get the same thing if you FOIL it. So it's not exactly the right-hand side, but we're close. You ever play that game, hot and cold, right? You're warm. So you're off by a little bit. If you notice, grab a completely different color, your x to the fourth matches, your 6x squared matches, but your constant term is off. And it's off by 11. So let's try again. Let's try something else now. So try again. Trial and error. Let's try f of x. Right? This was f of x is equal to x squared. All that I did was square x when x is equal to x squared plus 3. So now I want to try f of x we're going to try f of x where we square it. So it would be x squared plus 11, because I'm off by 11. 20 minus 9 is 11. So if I put in my g of x into this equation, into this function rather, I'm going to get x squared plus 3 squared plus 11. Well, we already know what this is because we just worked it and expanded it. So this is simply x to the fourth plus 6x squared plus 9, and then I've got to add 11. So this now is x to the fourth plus 6x squared plus 20. So therefore, f of x must be x squared plus 11. And that's it for working backwards. First example. We'll try another one.